In a shocking revelation that has sent shockwaves through the Formula One world, McLaren CEO Zak Brown never actually wanted to sign Oscar Piastri, ESM, the very driver who's now leading their championship charge. This bombshell comes from a witness statement by IndyCar champion Alex Palou in an ongoing $21 million lawsuit, completely rewriting what we thought we knew about one of F1's most significant recent driver moves. During a private dinner at the exclusive Beaverbrook restaurant near McLaren's Technology Center in October 2022, Brown allegedly made a stunning confession. "It wasn't my decision to hire Oscar," he told Palou, according to the court documents. "It was Andreas Seidl's call." This wasn't just any casual conversation, it was a moment that exposed serious internal fractures at one of F1's most prestigious teams. F1 analyst James Richardson puts it into perspective. This is unprecedented in modern Formula One. To have a team CEO effectively overruled on such a crucial decision, and then have that fact emerge through a court case, it's absolutely extraordinary. The implications are staggering. Here was McLaren's CEO admitting he didn't support signing a driver who would go on to become one of F1's brightest stars. What makes this even more remarkable is that Brown was apparently pushed into this decision by his then-team principal, Andreas Seidl, who himself would leave McLaren just months later for Sauber. But the story gets even more intriguing. Brown's legal response reveals that Piastri was initially only on a one-year deal, AT fee, a fact that contradicts McLaren's public confidence in their young Australian star. Even more telling was Brown's internal driver hierarchy. Palou was designated as Plan B if a driver got injured, and Plan C if Piastri failed to perform in 2023. Former F1 team principal Peter Windsor comments, "What we're seeing here is a rare glimpse behind the curtain of F1 politics. Teams usually present a united front, but this case has exposed the kind of internal power struggles that can shape the sport's future." The dinner conversation that night went deeper. According to Palou's testimony, Brown attempted to reassure him that Piastri's arrival wouldn't affect his own F1 chances. But the Spanish driver wasn't convinced. "I knew everything had changed after learning about the Piastri deal," Palou stated in his witness testimony. "The promises felt hollow after that." The lawsuit's revelations also shed light on how Brown may have actively worked to block Palou's other F1 opportunities. The Spanish driver had been in promising talks with Helmut Marko about an AlphaTauri seat for 2023. However, these discussions mysteriously evaporated after a direct phone call between Marko and Brown, SO, suggesting McLaren's CEO might have been playing a complex game of chess with drivers' careers. F1 journalist Sarah Mitchell notes, "The irony here is painful. Brown didn't want Piastri, yet tried to block Palou from joining another team. It shows how complicated and sometimes contradictory the politics of driver management can be in F1. The timing of these revelations couldn't be more dramatic. Piastri has proven himself to be an exceptional talent, leading McLaren's championship campaign and making Seidl's judgment look inspired. Yet the man who should be taking credit for this success, Zak Brown, apparently wanted nothing to do with it initially." The case also exposes the precarious nature of driver development programs in F1. McLaren's approach of using IndyCar as a stepping stone to F1 is now under intense scrutiny. They promised Palou a path to F1, only to allegedly change course when Piastri became available. The Spanish driver gave up other opportunities based on these promises, only to see them apparently evaporate. As one senior paddock source who wishes to remain anonymous puts it, this could change how young drivers approach development contracts. The days of taking teams at their word might be over. Everything will need to be ironclad in writing now. The legal battle isn't just about the $21 million McLaren is seeking from Palou. It's about the fundamental trust between teams and drivers, about the power dynamics within F1 organizations, and about the often hidden politics that shape the sport's future. The case continues to unfold, with more revelations likely to emerge as both sides present their evidence. For McLaren, this public airing of internal disagreements comes at a sensitive time. While they're enjoying success on track, these revelations raise questions about their decision-making process and internal stability. For Piastri, learning that the team's CEO never wanted to sign him must be a strange pill to swallow, even as he proves his worth with every race. But there's an even more explosive dimension to this unfolding drama. Sources close to McLaren have revealed that Brown's reluctance to sign Piastri wasn't just about the driver himself, it was part of a larger power struggle within the team. Former McLaren technical director James Key provides insight. What we're seeing here is the culmination of months of tension between the commercial and sporting sides of McLaren. This wasn't just about driver choice, it was about who truly controlled the team's direction. The timing of Andreas Seidl's departure to Sauber, just months after pushing through Piastri's signing, now appears far from coincidental. F1 strategist Maria Rodriguez explains, "When a team principal makes such a significant decision against the CEO's wishes, it creates an untenable situation. Something had to give, and in this case, it was Seidl who moved on." The lawsuit has also exposed the fragile nature of McLaren's driver development strategy. The team had been building what they called a driver ladder through IndyCar, with Palou as a centerpiece. But when Piastri became available, that carefully constructed plan was apparently abandoned overnight. This has sent shockwaves through the racing community, particularly among young drivers eyeing F1. Veteran motorsport manager Thomas Bennett observes, "This case is a wake-up call for every young driver with F1 ambitions. The days of handshake agreements and verbal promises are over. Teams can pivot their strategies in an instant, and drivers need ironclad contracts to protect their interests." The financial implications are staggering. Beyond the $21 million McLaren is seeking from Palou, industry experts estimate the total cost of this saga, including legal fees, reputation management, and potential settlement costs, could exceed $30 million. For a team already navigating financial challenges, this represents a significant burden. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect is how this affects McLaren's relationship with Piastri moving forward. The young Australian has exceeded all expectations, scoring podiums and outperforming his veteran teammate Lando Norris on several occasions. Yet he now knows his team CEO initially opposed his signing. F1 psychologist Dr. Rebecca Chen notes, "This creates a fascinating dynamic. Piastri has essentially proven Brown wrong, which could either strengthen their relationship through mutual respect or create underlying tension. How they navigate this revelation will be crucial for team harmony." The ripple effects extend beyond McLaren. Other teams are watching closely, particularly those with driver development programs. Red Bull's motorsport advisor Helmut Marko has already indicated they're reviewing their young driver contracts in light of these revelations. The case has also exposed the complex web of relationships between F1 and IndyCar. McLaren's strategy of using IndyCar as a stepping stone to F1 now appears more complicated than ever. Racing analyst David Cooper explains, "Teams will need to be much clearer about what they're offering drivers in other series. The days of using IndyCar as a waiting room for F1 might be coming to an end." Internal documents revealed during the case show that McLaren had actually ranked several IndyCar drivers as potential F1 candidates, with Palou initially higher on their list than Piastri. This makes Brown's eventual opposition to Piastri even more puzzling, and suggests that team politics, rather than pure driver evaluation, may have been the driving force behind these decisions. As more details emerge, it's becoming clear that this case could redefine how F1 teams approach driver development and management. The sport has always operated in shades of grey when it comes to promises and opportunities, but this lawsuit might force a move toward more transparent and legally binding arrangements. Racing legend Jackie Stewart offers perspective. "In my day, these deals were done with a handshake. But F1 has become too big, too complex for that now. Young drivers need proper protection, and teams need to be held accountable for their commitments." The courtroom drama continues to unfold, with each new revelation adding another layer to this complex story. For McLaren, the challenge now is maintaining team unity while fighting a legal battle that exposes their internal divisions. For the broader F1 community, this case represents a turning point in how teams and drivers negotiate their futures.